What's up, guys? It's the 4 American Misfits here, ready to start up with our first entry.
I mean, technically it's 3.
Yeah, we got 3 right now. Michael's out.
Michael's
he
not
had
here
a dip
right
on us
now.
on our first podcast.
He got sick, bro. He didn't dip. He got sick.
He definitely dipped. So, anyway, we're just going to be giving some news stories of the week, past week. We got an extra one, just in case, so we start to need more time. We don't really know how this is going to go. But we're really excited to bring this all to you guys. So, here's the first story.
Give us some props for a bunch of idiots that are just trying to talk news stories, alright?
Yeah. So, here's the first story. A man was arrested for smoking marijuana while in court for a marijuana charge.
Dude, I saw the video of that.
I just want to give props to this dude. This man literally had the balls to
it was hilarious. He was protesting the drug. He was protesting the drug charges, and then takes out a blunt and just lights it up in the middle of court, dude.
So the funny thing to me is that, like, he was actually smoking it for a few puffs, and then the security was like, "Oh shit, this guy's smoking weed."
I know, dude. It's hilarious.
So,
hey man, it might have been a stogie.
but like, they did not realize that he was actually smoking weed for the first like few minutes. They're just like, well, few seconds. If he was smoking weed for a few minutes, that's a whole nother story. But like, what a fucking legend! He just goes out, he says, "I'm gonna smoke weed," and then he gets caught for it. So then he's like, "I'm gonna bring in weed. I'm gonna bring in weed to court." He just starts smoking it right then and there. Like, that's one of the most ballsy things that I've heard in a long time. It reminds me of the kid that he actually ends up pissing his pants because the teacher told him to piss his pants, and I remember that story so well. And that's a story for another time, but it was funny.
I mean, my teacher told me I couldn't go to the bathroom, so I nearly took a shit on her desk.
Reminds me of that episode with Cartman and fucking South Park.
All right, for the next story, you guys.
So there was a man accused of keeping an attack squirrel set to appear in Limestone County Court. This was 2 days ago, February 3rd. So apparently he was feeding the squirrel meth. Crystal meth.
See, why would you waste it on a squirrel?
I know, right?
I know, like, if I got my hands on meth, I mean, let's just be honest, we're selling that shit.
Yeah. Or using it yourself.
I
ain't gonna be giving it to a squirrel.
Like,
hey man, but this is an attack squirrel.
So yeah,
this thing is an attack squirrel.
So he gets the squirrel.
You take it outside, and you got food for life.
He actually
eat the squirrel?
Eat the squirrel.
You said food for life.
That squirrel might just kill absolutely everything it sees.
That would be insane.
So they actually get the squirrel, give it meth, so that it actually
stays
aggressive. And so the guy's like, so he actually posted a video on Facebook where he actually denies that he fed the squirrel meth, but he accepts that he has the squirrel and he gives it great treatment.
Yes.
So
which
and it's funny because
maybe
the police,
implies.
Actually the sheriff had found what? They found the meth. They found
drug paraphernalia.
They found meth, drug paraphernalia, body armor, ammunition, and then the squirrel.
Let's just say this man has got the life.
His name is Mickley Palak, I think it is. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that. He's 36 years old. He looks like he's like in mid-30s. Like,
this man's in a midlife crisis right now.
It surprises me.
This man lost his girlfriend and got a fucking squirrel.
But it surprises me because most people that are on meth, they normally just like eliminate their entire bodies. Like when they take meth, their bodies are gone for the next while. Like I've seen people on meth,
but they don't look good. I really want that beard.
Yeah, I'd
totally take that beard.
I'd take that beard. I would totally take that beard.
That's kind of what my goatee looks like. Not gonna lie.
Charles,
I just want to say this man is literally bald faced.
You're bald faced right now, but the funny thing is they're charging him of possession of a wild animal.
I know, not even drug possession. It's possession of a wild animal.
They're not charging him for you cranked a squirrel full of meth. Oh, you have meth. Oh, you have probably illegal ammunition. To be honest, this is probably illegal.
All of it's probably illegal.
And they're like, let's get this guy.
He has
What
a
do we-
squirrel. No.
He's got a
Oh, no,
fucking
he has-
squirrel.
He's a tactical assault squirrel.
No,
okay?
it's not even that he's got a tactical
It's an
assault
assault
squirrel. It's just that he has a squirrel in general, and that's what's going on.
Oh
That's
god,
what-
we're going to get the Democrats on
Yeah.
us now because it's an attack squirrel.
So the next story is the Florida troopers. This came in last night. They find a narcotics in bag labeled bag full of drugs.
Dude, that seems like something Matthew would do. Not gonna
Amen.
lie.
So I've seen.
You gotta
the
know
bag.
what you're dealing with, all right, guys. I just want to make it clear. If you don't know what the bags are labeled, you might have just been grabbing sugar the whole time.
You've got a point. Like I remember, I remember when I was like in elementary, I tried to do a fake drug deal to some random kid. I was like, "Hey, you got the blue jeans and the green shirt on," and like he's like, "Here's the stuff," and I literally just gave him a bag of powder.
Wasn't that me?
No.
Are you sure? Yeah, I remember you doing the same exact thing to me.
No,
Like you came up with like
I
crushed up Cheez-Its in the bottom of a plastic bag. You're like, hey, you want these? Do you want this? This is good stuff. You want it?
No, I remember it was at a park like when I was in elementary. He got like livid. I remember he got livid about it. But like, so these two men were not discreet in their plans at all to sell drugs. So this is Florida. Of course, this is Florida. Like,
Dude, Florida man. Florida man. The hero America needs.
but like,
The idiot
why?
American needs.
Like,
This is why we got to keep this news story going.
they don't ever talk like you just have it, and like they just. Why don't you hide it at all? They just say,
Bag of
"Oh,
drugs.
this is my bag full of drugs." Like you keep that shit like in the compartment of your car underneath all the seats. You know, it's just like.
No,
But no,
these
they-
guys just sat it there and put bag of drugs.
So they had meth, GHB, which is a date rape drug, cocaine, and MDA, MA, and fentanyl. Fentanyl was like the highest. Like what? Fentanyl is literally like the hardest painkiller there is, right? I'm asking.
I think so. Probably.
But like, did they just like? My question is, did they just put all that in one bag and then labeled it bag full of drugs, or did they have several bags labeled bag full of drugs? And why would you want to mix that together? Because because it doesn't say bags full of drugs. It literally says bag full of drugs. So like, did they mix the cocaine and the meth and the fentanyl? Because that's a disaster waiting to happen. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a disaster if you're on meth already. But if you're like mixing that shit with cocaine, that's not good.
That sounds pretty funny. Not gonna lie.
It's gonna be pretty
go-
great, dude.
You're gonna feel it for 3 seconds and all of a sudden get knocked out.
But you know, the end of the story says, "Note to self: do not traffic your illegal narcotics in a bag labeled bag full of drugs." Or canines can read. The Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office posted Monday night on social media. So they thought this was so funny. There's the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office literally posted about it on social media. Like, well, I love it when like they go out of their way and say, "Hey, we're gonna post this on social media right now." It's so freaking funny. I always love those stories.
Like I saw a post from a police department where they just bought like a javelin launcher from the army, and they were using it as a speedometer. So whenever people would pass by, they would see this javelin launcher and then freak out. Not gonna lie.
So, I didn't actually read the story. I just picked it up. I know that you guys read it.
Yeah, it was pretty funny, dude.
Yeah, so Ottawa businessman tells incredulous judge he burned $1 million cash to keep it from ex-wife. So what can you guys tell me about this?
So this man literally was selling and buying houses multiple times, and
right on.
decided to withdraw $1 million
To keep it from his ex-wife. Because he got really mad over the divorce.
Okay.
So on September, I think it might have been
This story was posted today.
September 23rd, he withdrawed $743,000.
Jesus.
And then on December 15th, withdrawed $296,000, equating to $1,050,000,
That's quite a bit.
and burnt it to keep it all from his wife to pay for, if I'm not mistaken, support for like child support.
Yeah, that's
I
crazy.
think it was child support.
Like, that's crazy. Like, I mean, like, I know that divorce settlements suck. Like, especially if the wife doesn't work, and or husband, it goes both ways. But like, it just sucks for like the working party, the one that was working the whole time, because the other one gets literally like half their shit.
Yeah, dude.
Most of the time, it's about half.
No, look
And
at
it's
Kobe's
awful.
situation. He lost half his. Oh wait, no, it wasn't Kobe. It was
Yeah, Kobe's dead.
Yeah, Kobe's
no.
dead, dude.
Who was the guy who
Kobe.
just got Oh, he had a divorce settlement.
I
I think it might have been LeBron. It was someone
It was
who
a
made
basketball
layups.
player? No?
Yeah, it was one of the
I don't know.
basketball
I
players.
don't keep track of basketball.
I don't follow basketball either.
But like,
Neither do I. I
it's
just
great.
heard the woman got 1 point something million out of it.
I remember my dad got screwed in his divorce, and it was just awful.
Huh, my
But,
dad is still screwed.
but like, how petty do you have to be to burn $1 million? Like, it's one thing to like burn it, but like you could like gamble it away, you know, and go take a trip to the casino and just like, say, hey, I'm putting $1 million all in black right now.
The thing is, though, is that he was even ordered by the courts before he took it out that he had to pay his wife as well as the court this money, and that he was legally not allowed to be selling the properties that he had sold.
Oh, wow.
So what he did is that he went behind everything, sold off everything to his own accountant, and
Nice.
then burned all the money from the sales.
What a beast.
Dude, honestly, though, this is the man I...
He didn't lose anything.
He didn't lose anything.
I mean, like,
He was already screwed from the
Loopholes?
relationship. Just said it.
He would have lost it anyways. Then it would have gone to the person he hated most in life.
so finally we have our last story. This was from a couple weeks ago, actually. This is cockfighting. So, and wow, Matthew.
Yeah. Which one?
But actually, like chickens, you know.
Chickens?
So
Okay.
so a man was like putting down a chicken or a cock for cockfighting, and as
you could just
the
say
story
rooster.
the story actually just reads: a man has died after a rooster slashed him with a razor during an illegal. So, a man has died after a rooster slashed him with a razor during an illegal cockfight in India. So, the dude, I'm not even going to bother trying to pronounce this guy's name, it's Whack, was a spectator in another village in the state of... on Friday.
I will
would just
attempt to
say-
say all of this. So the guy's name was Sarapalli Venkateswara Rao. As a spectator in the Pragadavaram village in the state of Andhra Pradesh.
You know what? I
And I'll
think you
tell you
nailed
the
it.
truth. It's an Indian guy who cockfighted.
Yeah,
And I just want to say, I'm sorry, guys, but we got all these in black and white. So literally, I'm just seeing two fucking cocks fighting, one black and one white, and the black one's totally winning.
But the birds have razor blades tied to their limbs, and then they're placed in a ring where they start to fight one another. But like the guy just like was placing it down, right?
And got fucking stabbed.
He got
Dude, he got slashed. The chicken pulled
Yeah,
up
it
with the
literally
switchblade
just-
and was like, sink, sink.
He was,
No, it was just
56
attached
years
to it.
old. He was like, I think he was 56 years old, and he was doing this for a while, and like he just fucking like got shanked.
I just want to say though, think about attaching razor blades to your chicken or cock, and all of a sudden, straight up being slashed by the same thing that you just.
Dude, and then
That-
dying from it, bro. Come on.
Like it reminds me of like dog fighting. It's just awful. Like fucking
It is
Michael
awful.
Vick. Like,
Are you
Michael Vick
serious?
got arrested for dog fighting. I remember that. Michael Vick was like one of my favorite quarterbacks because of how fast he can run and stuff. But then there's
Okay, note to ourselves. We need to read this story later. Chinese theme park apologizes over bungee jumping pig stun. Bungee
All right,
jumping
guys.
stuff.
So
Bungee jumping
this
pig.
is from the Four Misfits.
Four
More American
American
Misfits.
The other misfit, or
We're
not
And then-
missing one of us. So
And then Michael,
I guess we'll
Michael
repeat
can get
our
off his little high
names.
horse and like come to school a little bit sick. It's fine.
I know we don't care if we get corona.
But
So
yeah, we'll
Tune
be
in
seeing
next
you
week
guys
for
next week for more wacky news stories that we just discussed, and we'll be seeing you guys next time. Peace out.
See ya.